I'm Vanessa Joy, and I'm going to show you why presets are not the answer to your editing problems. Before we jump into this, if you are interested in how to pose couples, individuals, or groups, you're going to want to download my free posing guide in the link below. You can get tons of inspiration in this beautifully organized PDF that I made all by myself. Not by myself at all. Actually, I use Fundy, which is a great software. Anyway, let's get into this. Presets are not the answer to your editing problems. In fact, I usually don't use them at all. However, presets are a great starting point if, one, you're a new photographer and you're just getting into editing and you don't know where to start and you kind of want to see what affects what, and then learn from it, look at the settings, and develop your own style. Or, number two, they just give you a place to start. Maybe you've taken a photograph and you tried to start editing it, but it's like not quite what you want and you don't know what you want, and you're just like, do I want this to be dark and moody? Do I want this to be like emo? Do I want it to be light and airy? So it's kind of nice to satisfy our very indecisive creative soul sometimes by scrolling through a bunch of presets. However, I don't think that they are the end all when it comes to post-production. So I want to take you through my workflow when it comes to post-production from start to finish with a couple of images, just so you can see what I'm doing and how I think as we go through. All right, let's get started. So this image right here, this is a good place to start. I'm going to go over to my presets. When I work with presets, one, I have a set of presets that I call productivity tools. And these presets are basically the sliders without having to slide them, and they're stackable. So I can do adjustments that I want to do, like add contrast, change exposure, add film grain, sharpen, saturation, all these types of different things without having to mess around with the sliders like crazy. And I can preview it before I make the decision to actually edit the photo that way. So starting off with this one, I'm just gonna go into Lightroom and start scrolling over these different things. Now, these are the contrasts, and I think I'm actually gonna go down -10 after looking at that. Then looking at the exposure, I think I do need to come up ever so slightly. Let's go right there. I don't want any film grain. I do want to lighten the shadows right about there. Looks good. I do want to add a little bit of saturation. Always want to sharpen it. I will probably, let's see, super warm, cool. I think I like that. Looks pretty good. And maybe add a little bit of vibrance. So right there, that was what? 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and I did all what I would have done on my sliders, but way faster and being able to preview it. So for me, that's step number one. Get your image about where it should be when it comes to exposure and contrast and all those little things. Now I'm gonna scroll down to my presets. Now this is a pretty, how do I phrase it? Not iconic image, pretty static image. There's not a lot I'm gonna be able to do to this that really changes the mood a whole bunch, but let me just show you the whole entire process. So I don't want it to be black and white, no, because I really like what's happening with the color. I don't want it to be crazy colorful. That preset's more for landscapes. Let's see, dark and moody, nah. Fresh and clean, gray day. These are all light and airy, nope, nope, nope. All right, this, like I said, is kind of okay, that's kind of cool. The toasted almond is kind of cool. Okay, do I want to go there? I don't know if I want to go there. And I'm gonna go with just joyfully simple, because joyfully simple is a couple of things that I like to do with clarity and settings that, you know, it's just basic, all right? Not change anything crazy, just basic. So this is where we are. I'm gonna bring the blacks up a little bit, all right? Now from here, this looks okay, but I want to get in there a little bit more. So I'm gonna go to my local adjustment brushes, and the first thing that I'm gonna do is go to my exposure plus half. And I'm just gonna go over, oh, I gotta turn up my flow because I didn't have it up. I'm just gonna go over into the shadows here and just bring up the shadows a little bit. I want a little bit of detail in the shadows, not a whole ton, just a little bit of something going on. Yeah, that's about right. If I want to back it off, of course I can right here. And if I wanted to go all the way in, I could go into just my shadows, maybe adding texture, maybe taking it away. All right, that looks good to me. There's not a ton that I want to do with this photo, so it's probably the worst example to start with, but it's a good example because it shows you how not every preset is going to work for every photo, because that's just what it is. It's presetting according to really other photos that I've messed with and made presets out of. All right, let's move on to another one. The one I wanted to show you, it's actually one of, you know what? It's actually one of me. I did not take this, my friend Nino took this. Let's hit reset. And this is a great example where you can go through, let's just say I started here, faded, punchy, like maybe you don't know what to do with this. Bright and vibrant, dark and moody, gray day I really love. See, toasted almond on this one actually looks really great. Maybe you just don't know where to start. So let's just start with, I liked toasted almond on this one. All right, so we'll just go there. I'm gonna bring up the exposure, bring down some of the whites, maybe add a little bit of contrast, and come down a little bit on the saturation. Maybe right about there. I kind of took the almond out. Good. So it's kind of like a muted type look. All right, let's move on to another one. I think I wanted to move on to this one right here. Yeah, this is one of my favorite images from all the Wendy X Mark III videos that I've done. And I wanted to go into, let's try Fresh and Clean. So this was after, that's before. So just bringing up a few different things, and now I'm gonna go in and start tweaking. That's what this whole thing is. It's just about tweaking and making everything what you want it to be, because ultimately you have a ton of creative freedom right here in Lightroom. It does not have to be all the same. Maybe I'll come in here, and presets tend to make things very easy if it works, but it doesn't always work. So that's my way of doing it all. I go in, this is just a kind of like a beauty brush, a skin softening local adjustment brush that I do. That looks good. Actually, it looks good going over hair in this circumstance too. Nice. And the last thing I want to do, if you notice, this window has a different color temperature than everything else. It's a lot more cold. So I'm going to go ahead, hit new, and go into temperature warmest. Then I'm going to paint over this. I probably need to get in there. Yeah, we're going to paint over this so that it's not a distracting, weird blue color in the window behind her. Fun. Ah, so much better. I think we even go a little bit warmer. This needs it more right there. Yeah. I could do a couple of other things, of course, to that, but that looks pretty good to me, and it looks like I got way too much on her hair, so I'm just gonna hit my eraser button and get that off her hair. Oops, need my flow up. Can't be messing with my flow. All right, and a little bit on her hand. Cool. All right, so before and afters. There we go. Now we're all the same. So that's my whole setup. I start with the productivity pack and just making all those little adjustments as needed. Then I go into presets if I want to, if I want a specific style. But if I don't really like that nighttime photo, I'm just gonna go and add some local adjustment brushes. You know, if I have to clean up faces, I've got videos on retouching faces, either now or coming out, and go from there. So presets are not, you're not gonna get presets and just get the photo you want. In a way, presets are almost like choosing your style of film, or at least how it used to be. You know, you would pick a type of film, or maybe even go into, you know, something with a very specific color in mind. This is sort of the back end of it, and you want to be careful. You want to make sure that you're not relying on presets to create the style of your photography. You want to have that style, and then the presets either just enhance that style or speed up your productivity workflow in post-production. That should be your goal. Make sure you check out my presets, productivity pack, and brushes. Now the presets and productivity workflow tools are available for both Lightroom and Capture One, and all of the local adjustments and gradients are available for Lightroom only, in addition to everything else. Unfortunately, can't do local adjustment brushes or gradients in Capture One, but they do have all of these styles and the productivity tools that'll be nice and easy for you to use. So that's what I've got for you. I hope I gave you a little bit of a peek behind what I do as far as editing goes. It's honestly not a lot, because the most important thing is to get it right in camera, then figure out the easiest way for you to have a post-production workflow afterwards. I'm Vanessa Joy. Make sure you hit subscribe, like, comment, and share. Sharing helps me a whole bunch, and I'll see you next time. Bye.